Hello, hello. Welcome to Sentimental Pastimes. My name is Cheryl. I'm going to start this mandala that came from Easy Craft Art. I did an unbagging of this with my last Easy Craft Art order, and I didn't realize this is a luminous diamond painting, which means that after it's done, the outline, the part of it that I'm going to be doing in white is actually going to glow in the dark. So I'm excited about that. I didn't even realize it when I was looking through the drills that these are actually glow in the dark. So it's exciting. So I thought we'd start this together, and then at the end of the video, I will show you the finished piece. This is a partial, so only the part that you're going to actually put the drills on is sticky. And I need a release paper. Hang on, let me grab one of those. Oh, that's good enough, good enough. This is a special drill, 30 by 30, and it has 13 colors and shapes. So usually with these, I just do one color at a time, and I go back for all the ones that I've missed. So I'm going to start with number 1, which are these yellow rhinestones. If I can get them open. Forgot to bring my scissors in here. So how's everybody doing? Well, you do what you gotta do, right? It is cold here today. It's April 19th. April 19th, and it snowed this morning. I'm telling you, you never know. You never know. Let's see, let me bring you down just a bit and I'll get started on this. It looks like the up arrows are the number 1s. I'm using this pen. Easy Craft Art also has these pens, and I really like these. I have them in lots of different colors. I went a little crazy, but they do come in some pretty colors, and they're not expensive at all. I like the ones with the bigger barrel. They're easier to hold on to and seem more comfortable for me to work with. So yes, it is cold, and it rained yesterday, snowed this morning. I refuse to turn my heat on with oil prices what they are. We have oil heat, and I am not turning my heat on. So I've got my dad's flannel shirt on. My dad loved these big flannel shirts, and I kept this one when he passed away, and I put it on chilly mornings, and it kind of feels like he's giving me a big hug, you know. So I just have this on over my normal clothes, and I just cannot get thawed out this morning. I cannot. My hands, my fingers are so it's cold. But I'm not turning that heat on. Now I'm not doing it. Hopefully it'll figure out what it's doing and warm back up. We had some nice days the past week, and then it just decided that it's wanting to go backwards instead of forwards, I guess. So we've had big snows in April before here, you know, but it doesn't last long. It's just for the, I don't know, just to say it can throw things out of whack, because the next day it's gone because it warms up, you know, to where it's going to melt the snow. So, I mean, in my opinion, what's the point? Yeah, we've had some pretty big April snows here. I'm just hoping that this is the last blast of winter. I've been resting and taking it easy and taking care of what I need to take care of a little bit at a time, and I feel much better than I have in a while. It's just up and down with me. I don't know. I had a bad day yesterday. I've mentioned before, probably on my cross stitch channel, that we've got a neighbor whose teenage boy likes to get into mischief. He's got nothing else to do. You know, there's nothing much around here to keep kids busy. And I don't know if he has a video game, if he's grounded from his video, I don't know. But he decided he was going to ride his bike yesterday. And last year we went through this whole big kerfuffle because he kept riding up and down the alley behind my house, just, you know, aggravating the dogs. And the dogs were barking constantly all day, all day, all day. And I finally went out there and parked the car in the alley, because it's half our property and half the house behind us. And this kid lives, like, I'm not going to say blocks, they're just alleys, you know, but he lives in the next space up, you know. So the alley that's behind our house used to go all the way up past his house. Well, over the years, they've let their alley grow up. You know, they've piled stuff on it. It's got a lot of briar bushes and, you know, overgrowth, things like that. So he wants to come down here and ride in our maintained alley, and we the water lines run out there. Our water meter's out there, and with very much traffic, it just turns into a big mud puddle, which then gushes into our yard when it rains. So we don't want anybody, you know, back there repeatedly. Once in a while is fine, and so last year I moved my car and blocked him to where he couldn't ride his bike down the alley. Well, he went and got his daddy, and his daddy come down here and basically told me if I didn't like it, I was going to have to move, that it was a right-of-way. And I was like, well, how come this one's a right-of-way and yours, you've let yours, you know, grow over, and nothing was said to you? Which, it's not a right-of-way. It's not. The house behind me has a big open place to come in their yard. If there was a fire event, the fire truck couldn't even get down this alley anyway. So, and the two houses on either side of us and our house, you know, the fire trucks can get to from the main road. So we've already checked with the property office. It's not an easement. It's a water easement. That's it. And so anyway, yesterday, he decides he's going to ride his bike down through here again. My husband parked the truck out there. He had a few words for my husband. Now, this is a kid. He had a few words for my husband and told my husband he needed to move his vehicle. I was like, and my husband said, just tell your daddy come down here. Well, he kept on and kept on and kept on, and hooting and hollering, disturbing the dogs, just being spiteful, just being spiteful. And so I went out there. He was putting his bike up on its back wheel and pushing his bike past our truck, which was barely enough room to get through. And I told him, I said, if you scratch that truck, your daddy's going to be paying to have it painted. Well, he had a few words for me then, and threatened me, and, you know, said he's going to fix me or something, you know. So I told my husband, and he's like, oh, no, we're not having that. So he went up there to talk to his daddy again, because, you know, this year we're going to have to deal with it apparently again this year. And Kind of find out his dad's not home. They were out of town yesterday evening, and he had a little buddy with him, so I think he was kind of just, you know, projecting or posturing, you know, to impress his little buddy. Yeah, you know what kids do. So, I mean, I don't have a bit of problem if they walk back there. They were riding their four-wheelers, and we had to go talk to the parents, the other set of parents whose kids they hang out with about the four-wheelers riding up. You know, it's just like, we don't want you in the house, so go bother somebody else. You know, go outside and play and bother somebody else. So, you know, I'm at that I'm old, get off my lawn stage of my life. And, you know, I don't bother anybody. I don't bother anybody, and I really wish people wouldn't, you know, bother me. But it doesn't seem to be the way it is here. Last year, when his father came down on me, you know, he basically said, if you don't like it, move. And that's kind of the attitude. And the fact that a 15-year-old kid would talk to an adult that way, talk to my husband that way, Lord, I would have had my tongue jerked clean out of my mouth if I talked to somebody like that. I really, really would. My mother would have, Lord have mercy. You know, his father said, now, Cheryl, you know, when we were growing up, kids, we used to ride up and down this alley, you know, and you know how when you have a confrontation with somebody and then afterwards you go, I should have said that. You know, I should have said that. But, of course, I didn't think of it, you know, at the time when it was actually happening. But I should have said, yeah, and back in our day, if a neighbor had a problem with somebody's kid, the parents took care of the kid, not the neighbor. You're aggravating them. Stay up on your side and leave them alone. That's what we would have been told. And if you do it again, you're coming inside. That's what we would have been told. But no, now it's like, I'm going to go down there and take care of this for you. I'm going to make sure that you can ride your bike, you know. He's got a slew of dogs up there that bark constantly. Thankfully, I'm not close enough to where that bothers me overly. And I'm sure if somebody was aggravating him on a daily basis, all day, every day, he'd probably feel a little differently. But I don't know. Things have changed. Number 2 is this beautiful blue rhinestone. And these are my favorite trays. These are Huracan. You can get them on Amazon. I think they're 3 for $10, but they are the best trays. See how they line up? They line up so beautifully. These are my favorite trays. Okay, the 2 is a big X. So we'll find, oh, looks like they're round in the center of the little flower things here. But yeah, I mean, our parents were a lot different. It's you know, I shouldn't have said anything to the kid. I should have waited. But Lord, if that kid wasn't trying his best to pluck my nerves. Oh, he was, you know, purposefully goading the dogs to get them to bark, and little snide remarks when he'd ride by here. You know, just little, nothing better to do than to, you know, posture. So if they don't get a handle on that kid, they're going to have some problems. But other than that, everything's been fine. Had a very nice Easter. Just me and my husband. I made a beef roast and some asparagus and some potatoes and cornbread. It was so good. We really enjoyed it. I miss living in North Carolina this time of year because we'd go to the farm and get fresh asparagus. Oh gosh, it is heads and shoulders above the kind you buy I mean, it is unbelievable the difference in fresh asparagus and the produce section in the store. It is so good. So good. I was going to make hollandaise, and I'd got the lemons and the eggs and everything, and then it's just like, do I honestly feel like standing there for 10 or 15 minutes whisking? No, we're just going to go without asparagus. I mean, hollandaise today. He didn't mind. Yeah, we had a really good dinner. And my son had came up with his girlfriend the weekend before Easter, and I made pickled eggs. Made them some to take back, and then I was going to just make another batch for me and my husband. So I love, love, love pickled eggs. I have my great-grandmother's recipe, and that's how I've made them every year. And boy, I tell you what, I like to never got through making those because that sulfur smell on those eggs like to have killed me. It was awful, awful, awful. And it's this, where I can't smell or taste. I can seem like anything with sulfur in it, it's just remarkably offensive to me right now. And I just could not stomach those eggs. I tried to eat one, and oh, no, no, no. So I just sent them all. We colored eggs while he was here too, and we had the colored eggs. They took the ones in the pickle jar, and I was just going to crack the colored ones and put them in there for, me and my husband. And I just couldn't. Oh gosh, it was terrible. So they took theirs home, and then I told my husband, I said, make yourself some egg salad with these, because I cannot be around no eggs right now. And so he took them up to the other house and made egg salad so that I wouldn't have to smell them. I really, really hope that is not going to cause me to have an aversion to them, to pickled eggs in the future, because that will break my heart. That will absolutely break my heart if that happens. Ugh. It's just, it was just, can't do eggs. I'm not a fan of eggs in the first place. Goodness gracious, growing up, my dad would eat those fried eggs with that runny, oh my, ugh. Only way I can eat them is scrambled. If I have toast or bacon or something to put in my mouth with it. I can't eat just eggs. Now I can eat boiled eggs, and pickled eggs, but as far as eggs for breakfast, scrambled, if I have something to eat with it, and then that's fine. I can eat a scrambled egg sandwich, with mayonnaise and cheese on it or whatever, but not just a plain egg, no. least I'm not as bad as Guy Fieri, right? If you ever watched him, he cannot stand eggs. I don't think he likes them in any form. Except maybe in a cake or a pancake or something. Yeah, never have been a big fan of eggs. So the one time a year when I actually like, now I can eat deviled eggs. Now I like deviled eggs. But the one time of year I make eggs that I especially like, you know. Couldn't even enjoy them this year. Yeah, all my kids were dispersed this year for Easter. They all in their respective places, you know. That's okay. I think they had an Easter egg hunt at the church up the road, which was, I heard some kids playing, and that was nice. I hope you enjoyed your Easter if you celebrate. Look how pretty. Yellow and blue. Can you see it sparkle? I really wish the camera would pick up on that a little better. But it is so sparkly. I finished my Chuck Pinson. I finished it, I think maybe a week ago. Not diamond painted. I've been stitching, cross stitching for days and days, and I just felt like doing a little diamond painting today. I've got some WIPs hanging up that I really need to work on instead of starting something new. But I want to start something new. I really do. We'll see. The responsible, reasonable part of my brain is saying finish one of the ones you've already started, which I don't have that many. I've got some Christmas ones, you know. Do I really feel like working on Christmas right now? I just don't know. And then my husband started the 10th, which is from Diamond Art Club. It's the David Tennant, the 10th Doctor Who. He started that, and he just doesn't seem like he's very interested, so I'm mighty afraid that I'm going to have to finish that one if it gets done. So I could work on that one. But I've got so many pretties in there waiting. And I've got several I haven't even unboxed yet on the channel. Several. I've got enough. If I completed, let's see, my Chuck Pinson was a 70 by 50, I think. And I started it on March 9th. And I finished it, I think, on April 12th or 13th. So if I could finish one every month and a half, I think I figured out. Now some of them are huge. I've got that's allowing for the absolutely huge ones. I've got probably enough diamond paintings from Dreamer Designs and Diamond Art Club to last me at least a year and a half if I could complete them at that rate without even buying any new ones. So I thankfully neither one of those Diamond Art Club or Dreamer has come out with anything that I absolutely have to have in about the last 2 months. I've just not been enamored by any of their new stuff. Just not my cup of tea, you know. They're beautiful things, but just not something that I would gravitate to, you know. Now, if they pull out the Abraham Hunters and the Chuck Pansons and the Dominic Davidson, yeah, those get me every time. But the ones with the, you know, mostly female, you know, princesses and Medusa, and they're very pretty, you know. They're rendered very pretty, but it's not interested. So that's been wonderful, because I haven't felt the need in a while. And quite honestly, I need to just stop looking, because like I said, I've got plenty. And I love, love, love every single one of them that I have. So it's not that I've fallen out of love with them at all. Then I've got several smaller ones like this that I can work on too. Get done in a day, day and a half, 2 days. I really love doing this. I do. It's, you know, it's a learning curve. When you first start, you see all these pretty designs, and you think, you know, those aren't very expensive. I could, you know, swing that. I could do that. They're not expensive. And then you order the ones that are not as expensive, and the big pretty scenes. And, you know, I did this. I did it. I'm guilty. The big pretty scenes and the big pretty, you know, detailed pictures that you just fall in love with, and you get them, and then you work on them, and then you stand back and go, I can't even tell what that is, you know. And that happens so much because you just don't know. You know, my husband always says you don't know what you don't know, and that's so true, because unless somebody tells you what to look out for when you're first starting, you're, you know, more than likely going to make those mistakes, because you think that what you see in the picture is what you're going to get when you finish that diamond painting. And that's so not true. That is so not true. And it's not anything other than, did I not wax? It's not anything other than realizing that the more detail the picture has, the bigger diamond painting you need. Because if you get a lot of detail in a little tiny this size, it's going to look like, you know, how when you were a kid, you'd put your face right up against the TV and see all those little dots, you know, all those little colored dots. And then when you back up, it makes a picture, you know. Well, you know, if you don't watch, your diamond painting is going to look like all those little dots. And you're not going to be able to see it unless you're football field away from it, you know. So you have to choose ones that are very simple. So I like these special drill designs because they almost always turn out. They almost always, because either you're doing a partial, just diamond painting a part of the picture, or something like this, you know, that's just embellishing the picture that's already on there. It's, you know, that's why I like the special drills. You pretty much can't go wrong with those. And then, you know, and then you get ones with writing on them, like with words on them, and then you can't even read them. You know, words are something you have to be careful with too. But if you stick to very simple, not much detail, and get a reasonably sized one, you're going to be fine. It's just, you know, stay away from the detailed ones unless you're going to go big. And see, that's why Diamond Art Club and Dreamer and other places like that, that's why their canvases are so big, because they, you know, put out detailed pieces, and the bigger it is, the more detail they can put in it. So just be careful with that if you're starting out, or if you've just, you know, had a few kits and maybe you're interested in more. But there are some really, really nice ones out there that don't cost much, you know. You just have to be careful about your subject matter. And okay, I've rambled on enough. I don't want to keep you any longer on this part. So I'm going to finish this up. Can you even see what I did? The blues and yellow. I saw a little bit of sparkle there. So I'm going to finish this up, and I will be back in probably a couple hours for me. And we're back in the room. I finished this yesterday afternoon, and I wanted to wait till overnight so I could take a picture of it glowing, because it is a glow in the dark. All the white around it glows in the dark. So let me show you that. Isn't that super cool? But it turned out really pretty. Again, the camera doesn't do it justice. You can't see the sparkle, but it is so, so pretty. Again, this is from Easy Craft Art. I'll link this canvas below. Really, really pretty. It turned out beautifully. Stick was good, and the colors are just amazing. It's a lot of fun to do. So thank you for joining me for this Craft and Unwind, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. And until I see you again, happy diamond painting.